Hi, I'm Sean Carruthers, and welcome to How Do I on Butterscotch.com. This series we're taking a look at GarageBand running on the iPad. This episode specifically, we're going to talk about guitars. So, as with the original version of GarageBand running on the Macintosh, you do have the ability to record other instruments into the iPad. Now, in this case, we're going to talk about guitars specifically. Now, you swipe over on the instruments list until you get to Guitar Amp, and then select it. Now, of course, before you can make the guitar work with the iPad, you have to have a way of inputting the sound into the iPad. There's a couple different ways you can do this. First, there's something called the iRig from IK Multimedia. This plugs into your iPad's headphone jack and makes use of the microphone input in that jack in order to accept guitar input. So the iRig itself has an extra headphone jack on here for piggybacking your headphones on here so you can hear what you're doing still, and it has a jack on the other side for plugging in your guitar. So if you already have a converter box for use with, say, GarageBand on your Macintosh, you may be able to use it here as well. I've got the M Audio Fast Track Pro here, which uses USB. I'm going to connect it up to a powered USB hub. Unfortunately, the USB power that comes out of the iPad itself, it doesn't have enough power to actually power up one of these boxes, so you'll need a powered USB plug. Then you'll need to connect the USB into the iPad. In this case, we're going to use the camera connection kit plug. You can get those for about $30, and you'll plug this into the bottom of the iPad, and then plug USB in through there, and then you should be able to use your converter box through that. Now, not all of them will work, so you might want to double check before to see if there's evidence out there that it will work. In this case, the M Audio Fast Track Pro will work, so a number of the other M Audio ones probably will work as well. So now once you've tapped through and opened up Guitar Amp on the iPad, you'll see an amplifier cabinet on the screen here, and it has a number of knobs and switches on it that you can adjust. Now, you probably noticed right off the bat that you can't hear what you're playing on the guitar, and that's because by default the monitor is turned off. To turn the monitor on, you'll tap the little icon that looks like a 1/4-inch plug. Here you can slide the monitor on, and then you can hear what you're playing. You also have the ability to adjust the noise gate here. So if you have a particularly noisy guitar, you can slide this up, and then you won't hear as much of the noise. You'll just hear when you start to play. If you want to hear more of the noise for a more raunchy feel, you can slide this down. You have a couple of different ways that you can change the type of amp you're using here. First of all, you can just swipe from side to side to get to different amps within that category. If you want to change the type of category altogether, you can tap the name of the amplifier up top, and then choose one of the other tabs. Again, you have the ability to tweak the settings and then save custom amplifiers in here. Each amplifier comes with effects pedals as well, and you have the ability to adjust and add to this. Tap the icon in the top right that looks like a little stomp box, and it'll open up the different pedals that you have currently associated with that amp. You can tap on one of the pedals to change it, or you can tap on one of the empty spaces here to add a new one. You can turn the effects on and off by pressing the switch at the bottom, or you can adjust the knobs at the top to change the sound. Once you're done playing with the pedals, you can tap on the icon that looks like the cabinet to go back to your amplifier. Now, before you're ready to start playing and recording, you may want to tune up as well, and there is an option for doing that here. Press on the tuning fork icon in the top left, and then start playing on the strings that you have. As you play each of the strings, the center of the iPad should list what note the iPad is actually hearing and tell you whether or not it's out of tune. Red bars to the left will tell you that it's undertuned. Red bars to the right will tell you that it's overtuned. So you adjust your tuning until the name of the note in the center turns blue. Once you've tuned up all your strings and you're ready to go, simply tap the tuning fork again and it'll bring you back to the amplifier. Then you can start playing your guitar with the amplifier and effects that you've chosen. You can press the record button at the top to start recording your guitar into the project. We'll talk more about how you can layer everything together, all the other instruments that you have, into a single recording project later on in this series. And check out the show notes for this part and the other parts in the series at Butterscotch.com.